White people, how do you feel about the segregation ban? I already know how people of color feel in other minorities, but what about y'all? How do you feel about this? Like, are you happy? I know that's kind of like a setup, huh? Because if you're all like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, we found him. But no, I'm like curious, like, because I mean, it doesn't really affect y'all unless you have like a partner or something like that, or kids who are obviously people of color. Other than that, just straight up white people, no relations to any people of color. How do you feel about this? Are you just like, damn, that's crazy? I mean, are you shocked? Like, I'm laughing because me and my people, we've already been through shit. So it's like, at the end of the day, I have faith that we will be okay. I guess for the Karens and the Kevins out there, it's like good. That way you don't have to be mad at any black person or other person of color coming in your territory and questioning them. You get to just chill and deal with your own people. Let me know how you feel.
I ain't going backwards. They are going to literally have to remove me from black-owned stores, black-owned restaurants, and black neighborhoods. So the problem is that us white people, we have been lied to so much, being told that we're superior. We ain't shit. We wouldn't be shit if our forefathers didn't lie, cheat, and steal and change history. Come on, I ain't going backwards. I see the value. I know the value of black people in my life. I know that I wouldn't be who I am without the black people that I've had in my life, a part of my journey. No. And if you're white and you don't like what I got to say, you can have the life you deserve, because I don't give a rat's ass.
You think segregation is hurting the black and brown community? Scroll through their videos. They are laughing, having a good time, celebrating. They try to stay away from us, for the most part. Not in an evil, mean way, the way you would love for it to be, in a safe, protect themselves kind of way. Because white people get brown and black people killed. So you're not doing anything to harm them. You are going to harm your businesses by losing them. You're going to harm the atmosphere because it's going to be so boring and staunch. And on top of that, you're showing us, the ones that just want everybody to have freedom and, rights, don't want to go back to the 60s, you're showing us where not to go. You're making it very simple. So yeah, you're not hurting anybody but yourselves by trying to bring the evil to the world back out into the open, because we know you've had it in you. You're just going to put it on full display so everyone can see not to go near you. So segregation, that's a joke. It's a disgusting, vile, evil joke that's only gonna hurt yourselves.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on these channels. On today's episode, we're looking at white Americans reacting on Trump bringing back segregation. You know, the conservative agenda project in 2025 that has policies that could disproportionately impact black communities and other minorities, such as weakening civil rights protection, cutting social programs, and many more. And people are saying, like, this is what he's been planning to do. This is what him and his administration meant when they said that they want to make America great again. I want us to watch these videos together, guys. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos that you're seeing on your screens. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Gracey D. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel. Give this video a like and let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Let me know what you think about these people reacting on this. So let's dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary.
So make segregation a thing again. This isn't necessarily new news, but Donald Trump is showing exactly what everybody thought he meant when he said, "Make America Great Again." And he and his supporters were pressed over and over and over again on when was America great and what are we going back to. They always tiptoed around it. But anybody with half a brain knew when that was. We're talking like 1930s, 40s, 50s. We're talking segregation, pre-civil rights, and everything that he has done has brought us back. We're going backwards in time. He's undoing things from Lyndon Johnson in the 1960s. He signed an executive order here in the last few days removing an explicit ban on federal contractors having segregated facilities, meaning waiting rooms, restrooms, things like that. We are going back in time, and it's just like, we all see it, but there's just so much stuff going on that we miss these things, and these are huge things that he's doing. And yes, it's just symbolic. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is what it's going to be, but then why are we doing this? Why is that part of the agenda? Why is he signing executive orders that are removing the explicit ban of these things? Why is he looking to bring back segregation? Like, we knew this is where he was going to go. He just keeps picking off groups of people, and everybody thinks, well, I'm safe. They're not coming for me. They're going to come for every single one of us. Every single one of us. And this is a huge red flag. To even like dip your toe in the water of this. Why are you revisiting this? This is so old news. All the progress that has been made by the Black community and people of color to go back to this is ridiculous. This is absolutely pathetic and unacceptable. And the fact that so many people, even myself, I didn't really pay close attention. I didn't see a lot on it. Like, I wanted to give it a little bit of time here. I want to make sure everybody knew that this is when America was great. Pre-civil rights is when Donald Trump and his followers think it was great, because that gave the white man total control, and that's what they want to go back to. So these are just things we need to keep a really close eye on, because symbolic or not, these types of symbols turn into reality really quickly.
You know, Black people really don't give a shit if they can't be around white people, right? Like, you think that Black people give a flying fuck that you're not going to let them into your racist ass place? Because I promise you they don't. What's really going to suck is not being able to go into Black spaces like that. That's going to suck for white people who enjoy things that are cool and fun. That part's really gonna suck. But like, we deserve to be kicked out. Okay?
I am so excited to see the first business with whites only signs on their door, because it lets me know exactly who not to go to, because I glow in the dark, baby. Okay, I glow in the dark, and you better bet that when I see a business that says whites only or no blacks allowed or coloreds, God forbid somebody use that term, I will not be giving them my money. So please hang all the signs so that us white folks that are not on your side know who to avoid. Okay, thanks.
I will look on with nothing but joy as the Black community turns this on its head and shows the white racist MAGA community just how disposable they are, economically and socially.
You can't continue to let this go on. I can't continue to let this go on. We can't continue to let this go on. We cannot continue to walk around with our eyes shut and our ears closed. Okay? What is it going to take? We have come way too far to have society be set back 75 years. 75 years. What are we doing with these these executional or these executive orders removing policies that allow for segregation? What are we doing? Oh yes, it's government contractors. You know who those government contractors are? SpaceX, Tesla, Amazon probably. It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors and all these MAGA folks falling for the okie doke. It has to stop. And in the latest news, guess who's overseeing the housing board? Oh yeah, Musk. Musk, along with his buddies. I think it's Plute, the head of Plute Homes. And now they're all buying up a bunch of stock because it's like $6 a pop. They're taking everything. They're taking everything. When in history have we had a president incite this amount of fear among so much of the country? I can't recall it in my lifetime. Yeah, Dems and Republicans have never really gotten along. Obviously, they're on different sides of the aisle. But society's divided. And for the people that continue to say it's just the Democrats who hate the Republicans and they don't want to see it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of brainwashed bullshit. And it's going to take some serious shit to go down for them to open their eyes. The thing I love about this TikTok platform is that we can continue to share and talk and communicate with each other on the things that are going on so that we can continue to create awareness. You may not want to hear it. I get it. But you need to be aware. Because I can tell you right now, if you search Republicans that regret their vote, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of videos. Check it out.
I'm gonna get in so much trouble for saying this, but I think white people need segregation. We need segregation to learn a lesson. There are far too many white people who think like, oh, it's okay, we roll back DEI, everybody will be fine. Like, I see that you're cool, you see that I'm cool. No. And thanks to the Trump administration, they've rolled back a lot of segregation laws. So, I mean, not that they ever tore down the original separate water fountains. They're just going to put the sign up once again that says blacks only. There are a lot of people who think if segregation comes back, it will be to their advantage. It will be to such the disadvantage of white population. And frankly, I think it's going to be good. There was a white woman who went into some bar the other day and she filmed it. Wearing a MAGA hat, she walked into a bar and like automatically the owner of the bar was like, get the out of my bar. You can't deny me service. No, your kind went to the Supreme Court to ensure that I can deny you service. Your beliefs are not my beliefs. Get the hell out of my bar. But I voted for MAGA and I'm white. You can't deny me. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we absolutely can. And she's filming it. And you can almost hear in her voice, she's absolutely sure she's going to post this video and she's going to become instantly famous. How dare this bar deny her? And instead the comments were like, know your place. That is not your space. The last time there was segregation, minorities couldn't go into white spaces, but white people went into minority spaces. There's always some stereotypical photo of like some socialite from Fifth Avenue up in the Harlem in the jazz clubs being like, oh, I'm mixing with the cool people and smoking the funny cigarettes. And then, inevitably she marries a Vanderbilt and, settles down and remembers her side of the town. I think if this time segregation comes back, segregation should be to keep the white people out. It would be good for minority culture, but it would be outstanding for white culture to finally understand, really get the point. No, we're gatekeeping. Hairstyles and food and flavor and music and culture, all of this is ours. Not for you. Kardashians can't no, these are Albanian box braids. It's our culture. It is not, frankly. As much as it will not benefit me, I think it would be to the benefit of white people to feel segregation, to go through segregation for, let's start with 300 years. That seems like the right number. Then we'll check in to see how they're doing and maybe start some other new version, DEI 2.0. As a matter of fact, in white culture, white women should probably make their own group too. There can be MAGA, white women, minority, separate, not equal, and definitely learning some lessons. Grow with love. We're definitely in this phase that until it affects me, I don't care about it, but that's short term.
because, you give me back my Social Security, I'm no longer interested in everybody else's struggle. To long-term deny white people everything they feel entitled to, I think it's long past time for that lesson to be taught. And yeah, it's gonna be super hard keeping white people out. You saw how many struggled with the blue bracelet idea. I admit I'm not gonna like it, but I think it would be to the benefit of all.
Like I said before, if it says whites only and it can be filled with poop, I'm gonna fill it with poop. Everything that says whites only, new public restroom, I'm taking a shit on it.
If they bring back segregation, I'm sitting on the color side. I don't give a shit what they're gonna do. I have a melting pot of a family. I'm not doing it. That's so damn stupid. Have y'all? I'm sitting on the color side.
Okay, I know we're all kind of laughing about this idea of segregation coming back and white people are jumping ship left and right. Like, please let me be on the side of Beyonce and Jasmine Crockett and Barack Obama. I don't want to have nothing to do with Carrie Underwood and Kid Rock, right? Leave me out of it. So yeah, that's funny to sort of joke about, but segregation is not funny. It was more than just entertainment and which restaurant you could use and which water fountain you could use and whether or not you were allowed to use the public pool. Like, it affected so many other systemic things. Education, access to property ownership, banking. Like, it was really deeply bad. I'll do one of my presentations on Jim Crow and the segregated South, but I got so many requests to do a video on the Tulsa Massacre, and when I did, it got about 600 views. So clearly the algorithm is working against me on this one. I had millions of views of my Kendrick Lamar 40 Acres and a Mule video, and then when I did Tulsa, it got deeply suppressed. So I have to think, use my little mind and find a way out of that algorithmic hole and find a way for us to talk about what actually happened during the Jim Crow era, and particularly the South of the United States, but the North too, frankly. We should also talk about the Loving Supreme Court case, which made interracial marriage legal. So if there's interest in a historical presentation on Jim Crow, let me know. I'll spend the time on it, but, being suppressed by talking about controversial and difficult things like the Tulsa Massacre is sort of demoralizing.
Hey guys, so this is what's happening. We've seen so many policies and people are like, this guy is just trying to bring segregation back. This is what he meant when he said that he was gonna make America great again, because there's been a couple of people asking, when was America great? And there have been a number of times that black people were always like, we wish like we can have our black schools only or black stores only, and it's not for the same reasons as to why these people want to bring segregation back. And you see, there are people who come on social media and they'll be like, black people are asking for this. Why are you now angry that this is actually happening? Because I've seen a couple of comments, people saying that. I remember also a video of Candice Owen. She did I don't remember what year, and she was angry because black people are actually asking to have their own black schools. They're asking to have their own black stores. They're asking to have their own, their own grocery stores. And for a person like her not to understand that black Americans are not asking this for the same reasons as to why white Americans would want to bring segregation back, because we know what segregation meant. For we might have not been there during those days, but learning history and listening to people that were there in those days, it was not good at all. And now that thinking that these people want to bring segregation back, in as much as black Americans are saying, not all of them, but I've seen a good number of them telling them bring segregation, then we'll show you what we got. This is not the era back in the days. This is not the era of our forefathers. So bring back segregation and we're gonna have to deal with you as we're supposed to. I mean, they're not scared. It's not like back in the days, yes, but also I've seen other people saying, people that were there during those times of segregation, during the Jim Crow era, they know what was going on, and it's something that they will never want to be repeated. And I've seen so many of them saying to people and commenting on videos saying, the Black Americans that are here celebrating and saying that they're ready for segregation, they don't know what they want. And I want to understand both parties, because back in the days, like the Jim Crow era, that's the segregation that's gonna be now, it's not gonna be like back in the days. They're not gonna be doing things like they were doing back in the days, because right now people are woke, people understand their rights, in as much as there are still so many things that are done to Black Americans and minorities in the United States of America. There is such a huge difference between back in the days. And another thing, I never expected to see white Americans reacting like this. I mean, as so many of them are like, if you bring back segregation, we are not going to go to white-only restaurants. We're going to support Black-owned businesses. We are going to support Black Americans. And I mean, maybe this is what's needed for Black and Brown to come together. This is what's needed for Americans to stop being divided by politicians. I mean, with this election, I've seen white people calling out their own community for things that are happening. I've seen white Americans calling white MAGA, telling them, you voted for this and now we are going through this, all because of you, because you voted for hate and racism. And here they are actually calling out these politicians, telling them, if you bring back segregation, then it's gonna be you that's going to suffer. It's gonna be our community that's going to suffer. Because I mean, Black Americans are saying they are ready for this, and they don't care whichever policies that you're going to bring, that they are not gonna be on the streets marching for no reason. Because with the new administration, they've tried a couple of things to see Black Americans on the streets. It's just the other day that 2 twins were just unalived in a sundown town. It's just the other day that they removed the Black Lives Matter mule at Washington, D.C. And there's so many that they've been doing. It's just the other month that they actually did away with DEI, because they expected, if you do away with DEI, Black Americans are gonna be on the streets, because they fought for civil rights, and this is something that they fought for them to have. They thought that removing the Black Lives Matter mule at the Washington, D.C. will have Black people go on the streets like they did back in 2020. But they've tried everything. They've tried all baits that they have, but Black people are not falling for this. And they're still telling them, you know what, we're not going to be on the streets, or we're not going to be out there protesting for no reason, because this is what they're looking for. And everything that's happening, I mean, people have been, you were warned for all that's been happening. Everything that was on Project 2025, and most people didn't listen, and most of them voted for hate and racism, and most of them, like I keep on saying, they thought that they've been benefiting from their white privilege, that this is gonna be the same, them benefiting from white privilege, them not being affected by the policies that they voted for other people to get affected by these policies. And now they are actually in the find out era, and most of them are also surprised that Black Americans don't care if they're gonna bring segregation back. They're like, you know what, do whatever you want to do. The 82% and the 92% of us, we are taking a break. We are on a vacation for the next 4 years. We are doing things to better ourselves, and we don't care about any policies that you're gonna come out with. We're just gonna be listening, and we'll be learning and taking care of ourselves and watching our backs, because there are so many things that are happening, especially with the crazy people who are very angry that whatever they voted for is hurting them. They are very angry that what they voted to hurt other people is actually catching up with them. What they've been planting for themselves, what they've been building up for themselves, because they were privileged and always benefiting they were privileged and they were always benefiting from white privilege. Everything that they've been building for themselves for all those years that they've been benefiting from this without caring what's happening to other communities in the United States of America, now it's catching up with them, and most of them don't know how they're gonna survive this. That's why most are like, we have to watch our backs and we have to be vigilant and very careful out there. Yeah, so these are white people, or these are white Americans reacting on segregation, and I'm so happy that there are actually a good number of them that are like, we are not going to allow this, we're not going to see this pass as we are just seated and saying nothing. We are going to say something, and we're going to support Black Americans, because there is no way that we're going to allow history repeat itself as we sit down and watch. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part, and until the next episode, bye.